What is it about the Starr Mazda which appeals to so many drivers across iRacing? Is it the fact that it has one of the nicest engine sounds in the whole of the cars available? Is it because it produces, for example, a speed lower than an F1 car but faster than a Skip Barber? Well, my reasoning is it creates such close racing that you are on the edge of your seat just watching it. And for many drivers, approximately about 30 to 45 every single season, have agreed. They've loved this car. And I tell you someone who has loved this car, Rico Alatalo, Martin van Loosenhoorn, Cam Stark, each using this as their way to boost themselves up into the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. And then you take the likes of Joshua Anderson, Joni Takinen, Justin Brunner, each of which esteemed in a GT3 category. And then you talk about the other three drivers, Govan Keeney, Kerry Nolden, Jamie Fluke. Drivers each to their own, electrically fast in this car and looking to be electrically fast in many other cars to come. But this Season 5, it created a whole new dynamic, the likes of which we haven't seen before. And that dynamic is, well, we lost the three quickest drivers in our league. Justin Brunner, Kerry Nolden, Jamie Fluke, all leaving at the end of Season 4. And now, Season 5 came along. And we needed new drivers, new heroes to celebrate, new fans to be introduced, amalgamated in. And we got them. We got the drivers. We had new names being formed. We had 6 different winners in the opening 8 races. We saw Leanne Robinson take his first ever win for AOR Red at Silverstone. We saw René Osterkamp in a brand new team, Hydroforce Racing, take his first win at a brand new track, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. You talk about the likes of Phil Reed, who'd already been a staple name throughout the AOR Pro Mazda Championship, but he proved himself by winning not just one race, but he won 2. Another driver who won 2 coming in, well, his name's Michael Mittner, and he is an Austrian who absolutely knows how to race. He knows how to win. He's won in multiple seasons. And another driver, the bridesmaid, finally a bride, Jean-Francois Godin, the only man in the series to collect back-to-back wins, coming in to what has to be a brilliant final race of the season. However, the championship is already decided. Phil Reed has come out victorious with 1 race to spare. And despite what I said last week about him not showing up at the event, well, he's here to prove us wrong. He's here today, but Michael Mittner isn't. So, with all that said, we got 1 more race to go before a new challenger arrives, the Formula Renault 2.0. Kerry Nolden will return for that. But for now, we've got to revel in the memory of we've made new drivers. We've got to revel in the memory that we have done exactly what we wanted to do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, whether you be drinking a cup of tea in the middle of the day or nomming on your dinner at night, we are here, bringing you coverage here of the AOR Pro Mazda Championship Season 5, round number 11 out of 11. We're here at Watkins Glen for the season finale. 32 laps, 1 mandatory pit stop required. And this is where the legends will forever be immortalised. With Phil Reed, drivers champion already, Mittner was not here. So Godin, Osterkamp, Marston and Takash will be looking to score some very valuable points today. No Gunner, Nierenhaus, Cowie, Robinson and Lysis are both here. Of course, Watkins Glen esteemed for the death of Sir Jackie Stewart's teammate, Francois Sever. But right now we need to focus on these AOR Pro Mazda cars, because this is how the championship is at the moment. LM Rennsport are 51 points back from AOR Blue and cannot catch the championship with Michael Mittner not being here. So, with that all being said, it's a battle for third between Hydroforce and team players to sort out the remaining places. This is how qualifying went earlier on. Jean-Francois Godin, 3/10 faster than René Osterkamp. Brilliant lap from him. Cowie 3rd, Takash 4th, Masterson 5th, MacLeod 6th, Leicester 7th, your champion Phil Reed in 8th, Dometer in 9th. Neil Lukins will round out your top 10 here today for AOR Red. So, cars lined up on the grid. We have 32 laps of racing here around upstate New York to Watkins Glen. Engines are revving for the final time in a Starr Mazda car. We are underway here at Watkins Glen for the final time. And it seems Godin's got a good start, but Osterkamp is slow off the line. And it's Andy Cowie who will move up into 2nd place through turn number 1. You can see the brakes getting tight. And as we look further back, oh, it's 4 wide almost, going 3 wide. MacLeod, Martinson to Cash, and it's contact. Oh my word. It looks like Martinson there got a bit of a touch from Ty MacLeod, the Flying Scotsman. So everything going on, and look how far he's bundled down the order behind the likes of Patrick Kessler there. The independent driver as we look down the field now. We're going to focus on Phil Reed right now, and it looks like he's going to try to get out. There's contact! There's contact between the two, and Reed up in the air. Over he goes. To Cash involved. 2 cars off in the instant. What a mistake there. And what a move that's just gone on there into the inner loop. And there you can see Osterkamp running a little bit wide there through the outer loop. Calm down. Everything has gone on in this opening lap of the race. Oh my word. I can't believe what I've just seen there. Both AOR Blue drivers involved in an instant in the opening lap. That would not be the way they wanted to say goodbye to this car. That is not the way at all. But Jean-Francois Godin will maintain the lead. Andy Cowie 2nd. In 3rd place, it's René Osterkamp. Ty MacLeod 4th. And it looks like that is Christoph Leister there in 5th position. So what a start he's managed to get himself there. Looking back down the field, that's Dometer in 6th. So, leading pack at the moment. Jean-Francois Godin hasn't managed to get away just yet. You can see Lauren de Rijk in the top 10. Kessler in the top 10. Quite a few surprising names have found themselves into this top 10 position. And, well, 1 lap completed out of 32. Just another 31 to go and a mandatory pit stop, and we'll be there sorted. Into turn number 1. One of the only corners you can legitimately track extend on. You can go all the way up to that wall and not get any off-track penalties. Now you head up through 2. Big, fast right-hander before hitting an even faster left-hander. You're going up through the gears again. And then turn number 4 as you pass the barriers there. And you keep going and going and going. And you're flat out here. And Cowie now will look to try and use the slipstream to pull himself on to Jean-Francois Godin. But it seems that he can't get close enough as they head into the inner loop right now. A right, left, follow the light tarmac before the left, right, and then throwing yourself into this outer loop. This big, long right-hander, turn number 5, before heading yourself down the hill and then braking for what is known as the chute. Turn number 6, the big left-hand as we look back at Neil Lukins now. Coming down, he's gone a little bit wide there. He's got a Team R car behind him. Might be Courier Cosi, might be Rich Grimley, but I think it's Courier Cosi at the moment. As you can see, you head now into turn number 8. This is the toe. The toe is a very difficult corner here. You're braking down very quickly down the hill before heading back up the hill. Up this boot section straight before heading up towards the heel, which is actually turn number 8 as I get my corners mixed up here. So, into turn number 5, 6, yeah, turn number 8, the heel, as I try and do my maths correctly on broadcast. Into turn 9, this big long left-hander, and there's turn number 10, as we look at René Osterkamp. They're running wide, and MacLeod follows! Both Hydroforce racing cars very lucky to get themselves out and away from that one. Oh my word, penultimate corner there, catching almost both of them out. Wow! I think MacLeod wasn't thinking properly, because he just followed his teammate's braking line. They both went off. Great saves from both of them, but final corner's very difficult. The barrier's close to them. That has been a lap at Watkins Glen. We're looking out with Neil Lukins once again. Now heading himself up through this section of circuit here. The big sweeping rights and lefts. He's got Team Tortoise ahead of him, which I think is Frederick Johansson. I can't be too sure on that one, but he is still in a very good position right now. There's your top 10 rolling across your screen right now. Lorenda right, it is Andy Brown in 9th position with Johansson 10th. So this is 11th place Neil Lukins here in AOR Red. So I was right with Johansson, but heading himself down there, running a little bit wide, but he's just not quite close enough at the moment. Here is Neil Lukins, just trying to thread his way back into the field, trying to push himself onto the back there as we look at Bruno Domitor now, the Slovenian driver, I think I'm correct in saying, not too sure on the flag, but he is behind Christoph Leister right now. Into the right of the heel he comes along, and well, his career highest finish is 4th place at the moment. So can he chase down Christoph Leister? Can he make a move? They can see Leister running a little bit wide there through that turn 9 corner. In through turn number 10 he'll come along, and well, he's all hunky-dory fine there. Turn number 11 coming up next. Well, nothing too untowards here as he heads onto this front straight here, and you can see just how this train is developing. Godin starting to pull out a little bit of a gap, not massive, but you can see what Ty MacLeod's doing here. He is backing up Leister into Bruno Domitor, and that's a clever ploy actually from Ty MacLeod. He's using his tactics very, very subtly in order to make sure his driver gets away right now. So Domitor, he might have an opportunity here. He's right underneath that gearbox, and he goes to the outside, and that will give him the outside line into the right-hander of the inner loop, but he's not quite close enough. Moves to the inside now, trying to make the move sorted. Has he got it sorted? Answer is yes, he does. Into the inner loop, he makes it look very comfortable, and well, Christoph Leister, the Austrian, will have no other option but to back out from it in the LM racing car. Well, just very exciting racing all along here on lap number 4 here of 32 laps of racing here. It will be down now to Domitor to catch the both Hydroforce racing cars in MacLeod and Osterkamp. But looking at the back there, Patrick Kessler on a world of his own, another German driver in this league, and really looking to try and establish himself as a name that could be someone to look out for in the future. Into the right-hander he will come along, Christoph Leister of the hill, up the hill, understated on these cameras just how much height you actually gain off it. It's like walking up 3 stories or something like that. But running himself now in a very comfortable position of 6th place on track right now, Christoph Leister into the right-hander at the final corner. He will come along. Pit stop window, well, we're thinking it could be anywhere from around lap 12 onwards to about lap 20. It's a very underestimated pit stop. You can try and go short, try and go long. Both AOR blue cars are out of the race, so not the way that constructors want to be sorted out, not the way the drivers want to be sorted out, but both of them involved in an incident on lap 1, and not the best result that either of them could have possibly asked for. And looking at the front though, it looks like René Osterkamp has got back onto the back of Andy Cowie there, so 3-car train at the front, everything to play for. So, Christoph Leister in the 28 machine, heading himself through the outer loop right now, running himself, it's a beautiful corner there, as you head down the hill, as we look now with Andy Cowie, the 222 machine here on lap number 5, trying to sort himself out at the moment. Into the heel he will come along. Bang! Engine! End of Andy Cowie there. That was so sudden, and it's just like that your championship, well, your race can end in such fashion, and Andy Cowie must be hurt because he was in 2nd place, and that was the last thing he wanted. As we look at Frederick Johansson's Team Tortoise now, heading himself through this penultimate corner. We have skipped on a little bit for you, and now he is behind Neil Lukins right now, which is not where he would have wanted to be. He does have a car behind him of a Kenduchi racing car. I think that is, yeah, Robert Plumley heading down the front straightaway. We are on lap number 6 now of 32 laps of racing right now. So, into the right-hander they will come along, and look how wide the end right will go. This is the big fight in the field right now, and they will all try and line up, line astern, trying to get the slipstream properly, and you can see just how much they are pushing it. They're flat out through these lefts and rights, and they will be flat out all the way to the outer loop right now, and he's not in the slipstream, and I don't think he can catch because It's a slipstream train, and here's Neil Lukins trying to have a little bit of a look on Andy Brown ahead of him. Not quite close enough that time by. But now you can just see the battle there. There's Jonathan Kyrgiakosi, the only Indian driver in the league. They're having an absolutely sterling race by his standards as we take a replay of what happened on lap 1. So let's see here what happened with Phil Reed. Oh, he just broke a little bit earlier there, I do believe. He broke a bit earlier. Phil Reed wasn't paramount to it. Lost the back end and bang. Big instant there at the start of lap 1 between Takash and Phil Reed. You can see the damage there Phil Reed's got. He's not going to recover that one. That would be the end of his race in the end. Takash does keep going though. So he might be in a position there as we look back at Frederick Johansson now, who we are on lap number 6 still, I do believe, here heading through the right-hander, well, the left-hander here of turn number 9, coming up towards the end of lap 6, starting lap 7 here, as we look back to Christoph Leister now, who is, well, there is a train of 2 at the moment, and Time MacLeod is really doing a good job of backing up Bruno Dometer right now. He's doing everything he needs to do, and if he wanted to, he could find himself in a position where he could be in a position to challenge his own teammate, because he is on the podium, and what a horrid season Time MacLeod has. They're going to go side by side up front. It's a battle for the race lead, and we are going to see it here as they head in, and no, Osterkamp can't get it sorted into the inner loop. Arguably the best overtaking opportunity you will have all race long is down this long turn, long back straightaway, heading towards the inner loop and now the outer loop. So Christoph Leister is pushing hard to keep himself on the back of Bruno Dometer in the TDT racing machine. Right now, Time MacLeod ahead of him. This is the battle for the final space on the podium at the moment, and well, Christoph Leister will be looking incredibly just to try and keep himself on the field there. Just missing my words there just a little bit, but who could blame you? We're just setting up right now. The car's just calming down a little bit. Not really too much action going on throughout the field. Many drivers have found themselves in bad situations. We've lost already in just the opening laps of the race. I believe we have lost about 4 cars already here on lap number 7, about to start lap number 8 here of 32 laps of racing. Godin, Osterkamp, MacLeod, Dometer, Leister, Kessler is your opening 6 right now. I have to emphasise it twice to look at Jonathan Kyrgiakosi here for the kart squad, not Team R, that is Lionel Alberto. Into turn number 1, he will come along then. And, well, you talk about drivers and how they click with certain tracks. It seems that Jonathan Kyrgiakosi really does like Watkins Glen. He's been faster here than he has been at any other circuit so far this season that he's visited. And I think Kyrgiakosi's on an upslope now, and it's an upslope that he really wants here in part of this kart squad side. He'll really want to be racing a lot harder. They can see just how much Frederick Johansson ahead of him was trying to work here as they head through this beautiful chicane here of the inner loop. And now you head to the outer loop, the big right-hander that you just drive along. It takes forever and forever and forever and forever. And, well, you just got to keep going at it. Keep pushing yourself on ahead and keep working, basically, to try and sort everything out at the end of the day. So, into the toe section, he will come along, back up the hill, starting to lose a little bit of ground there on the cars ahead of him, like Robert Plumley, who all have the slipstream, but it's just so difficult to overtake. You can see Lorenda Wright, who is more esteemed for being a Project Cars driver than he is an iRacing driver, in this field, really working that car, really making sure he's having to defend here. And look, they're going 2 by 2 through turn number 9. Yes, you can see Andy Brown there, looking to try and have a go on Neil Lucas. There you can see Plumley going to the inside at turn number 10. Can he get it for turn 11? Well, doesn't look like he can just yet as we look here at them going around this final corner right now to start themselves lap number 9 out of 32 here at the moment. So, flying across into the right-hander of turn number 1. You can just see how wide you can take that corner. As there is a battle at the front. MacLeod's closing, but they're side by side ahead. Osterkamp and Godin. It's Osterkamp on the outside, and still, we don't quite know what's happened there. Well, Osterkamp stays behind for a moment, but surely he has an opportunity to get past, and you can see it's a Hydroforce Racing 2-3 at the moment, and Hydroforce Racing will be looking to pull themselves back in there. You can see the David Coulthard helmet on Ty MacLeod there, with the McLaren West sponsor there on the helmet on the left-hand side. There you can see a Hydroforce Racing car in colours of the 2003 Renault there. As you can see, Carlos Fu getting it all shapes of wrong for the Macau Racing team. Oh dear, 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 dear. Using the reverse, and well, we're going to go back to Ty MacLeod. There's a car in the wall. That's Robert Plumley, and he takes Kiriakosi with him. Big incident up on his roof, and oh no, not that's. I believe that was also not Nigel Spears, but Steve Caver, the Canadian, involved as well. Number 2 machine, big incident there. Oh, that was down into the chute, which is a very difficult corner indeed. You've got to be very careful. Cars can fly off everywhere, and one mistake's taken 3 races away here as they start lap number 9 here. And well, you got to think about pit stop window. It is coming up very shortly. Into the right-hander of turn number 1, they will come along then. And, well, this is racing at its finest. There you can see just how wide Christoph Leister was running there. And, well, Osterkamp is right underneath that gearbox, and I think he's catching just a little bit too quickly, possibly, because he's going to have to go to the outside, and he loses all the run down this straight here on lap number 10 of 32 here. He's going to go for it now. Surely? No, not quite yet here on lap 10. We are thinking about pit stop window here as Christoph Leister, I believe, is now trying everything here to keep himself onto this group of 4. He has lost contact with Bruno Dometer ahead of him, so hopefully the battling will keep himself in this here. MacLeod is back on the back here. Bang! Another engine! And Scottish arse break as Ty MacLeod is out again at tow. The second engine in a row. And oh, you got to feel for him. He's had a horrible season, and he was running in 3rd, and he had an opportunity to keep himself in the race. And well, that is the end of Ty MacLeod's dream of getting a podium this season. Hydroforce Racing down to the sole surviving car of René Osterkamp. So, battle for second in the championship. It is Godin versus René Osterkamp right now. So, as they go on to start lap number 11 of racing right now, this is all going to be hunky-dory. Thank you very much. Keep on your laurels and drive to your heart's content, because there's still a lot of racing to go. We are just about a 1/3 of the way through this event. Lap 11 here of 32 around this beautiful circuit of Watkins Glen. Now you can see the ticker up at the top of your screen. If you are not following the racing that you'd like to be, well, you can understand where cars are around about all of that. So, into the right and now the left here, and then the left and now the right here. Christoph Leister will be trying to get himself onto the back here. Look at Lorenzo Reich. He's under pressure from Neil Lukins now. Lukins to the outside. Can he get it sorted? No, not quite yet. Lorenzo Reich. Oh, car off in the background. And that is Robert Plumley's, which would be, I believe, or is it Santalamakia? That might be Santalamakia again. So, means that I did get the instant a little bit wrong earlier on, which is my apologies. Looks like Richard Grimley out of the race. I know that was Santalamakia involved in that incident, so still a lot of battling out and going on. So we look at Carlos Fu again, heading through the rights and the lefts, and he's got it wrong again, and he spins it for the second time. Down at the inner loop. Well, it's a difficult right-left, and you have to follow the light piece of tarmac. And if you don't, well, it does sometimes mean that you are taking unnecessary risk here. As you see Christoph Leister looking to start his 12th lap of the race at the moment. So, Just everyone needs to calm down. Everyone needs to just slow themselves down. I do apologise. Lap 11 here of 32, if I'm correct. It's very difficult when you have a ticker that updates only at certain times. You do lose track. So I believe it is lap 11. And we're going to continue racing here to the end of this race. So, Christoph Leister, looks like Bruno Domter has fallen off the back of Osterkamp and Godin. You can see Rene Osterkamp just can't quite get into it at the moment here. Just still pushing really hard to try and get himself into a position where he can pull himself back into the fray at the moment. Christoph Leister is at the moment still trying to chase down. He's not had the best of seasons, but he's had a really consistent one, if I do have to say so. And this is one of his best performances to date at the moment. So, running himself through the toe right now. You just got to be careful about your engine here. You're downshifting so quickly, you might over-rev your engine, and you just see it go boom. We've seen two instances of it today. We saw Andy Cowie go and lose his back end. We also saw Ty MacLeod unfortunately blow his engine up as well. So, looking at Bruno Domter for TDT Racing right now. Still, oh, big slide coming out of turn number 9. Whoa, into 10 he'll come along. And well, everything going on is absolutely imperative. Paramat and Godin comes in early on lap number 12. Well, starting lap 12, it is Jean-Francois Godin in pit road right now, going for the early one. And will he manage to sort himself out perfectly? Will he manage to jump everyone? Will that force other drivers to come in early? Osterkamp now has to do some qualifying laps if he wants to get by. That is the mentality that you've got to have right now. You've got to go quick, got to go fast. And well, you can try everything that you want to in this series, but if you're not fast, you are nowhere. And look at that, through the inner loop goes Bruno Domter right now, pushing insatiably hard to get onto the back of Osterkamp. Osterkamp will want to have this race in his back pockets at the moment, but it is not decided just yet as we look at Jonathan Kuriakosi in the kart squad off the back end, and he's lost it in the inner loop. Same place as Carlos Funas, and into the wall he goes. Oh dear, he was in a career best place as well, and well, that was not the result he would have wanted. There you can see Lionel Alberto going past, and it's all gone wrong for Kuriakosi. But looking back now with Bruno Domter, we have lost at least 9 cars already so far in this field. Hopefully we don't want to lose any more than that, but the 16 will have to try and push here. He wants to find himself in the right positions. We look at Frederick Johansson's Team Tortoise car, and he is right at the back of this 4-car train. De Rijk, Lukins, Brown and Johansson right now, so it seems everything is not quite as hunky-dory as people would expect for Frederick Johansson. He's having a very good run here, down in 9th position at the moment, so he'll still be fighting extremely hard here as Andy Brown goes into pit road. He takes the inside line, runs the white line, in he will come along and take his mandatory pit stop right now here as we start lap 13 here of 32, I believe. I'm not quite sure as we look at Rene Osterkamp here pushing along, and he gets a big twitch and he's off! The leader is off! And Osterkamp makes a mistake and Bruno Domter entails the lead. Unbelievable stuff as we switch to Lionel Alberto. You can see Rene Osterkamp just running slightly wide onto the grass, and that's what's caused him to flick it around, and he will be devastated that he's done that. You can see Alberto just behind. I believe that's Saltalamacchia, might be Plumley, I'm not quite sure, but he is pushing. And, well, it is Vittorio Saltalamacchia. So Lionel Alberto up in 11th position at the moment, but Rene Osterkamp there just pushing too hard, and that's cost him valuable time, and that puts him out of contention in terms of this driver behind these two, Jean-Francois Godin. So, everything going on, we've seen the likes of Rene Osterkamp there make a spin, and he didn't want to do that. but on lap 14 as they cross the line right now, it seems that it's all going to be down onto who is the quickest driver who makes the least mistakes. We've seen so many mistakes already in this opening half of the race. We've seen the likes of Phil Reed, Knut Martinsen, Christian Takash make mistakes, Osterkamp make mistakes, MacLeod make mistakes, Cowie make mistakes, everyone's made mistakes. Still looking at Lionel Alberto. In comes Santalamakya. Switch over to Neil Lukins now, trying to get the run of Lorenda right now. One of the newcomers, of course, more known for being a Project Cars racer more than a iRacing racer now, but in the AOR Pro Mazda Championship, he's proving his worth here into the inner loop, and now heading up towards the outer loop right now. No dramas there from either driver. I know how quick Neil Lukins is, the Bristolian. I've gone and karted against him. He's electrically quick when he can be. And look into this left-hander of the chutes they come along, heading up towards the toe. And well, Neil Lukins is pushing here Lorenda Wright. Wright's not got it all his own way. He's got to be not comfortable, I'd say, but he'd be a little bit nervous and a bit sweaty under the collar, trying to make sure that he's got everything A-OK right on time. But into the heel they come along, and it seems that Lorenda Wright's got it just a bit for now, as we are well into our roundup pit stops right now. So everything still going on here. Neil Lukins in the 33 for AOR Red. What will happen to him next season? Will he be still at AOR Red when we get the Formula Renault Championship? Of course, Kerry Nolden coming back will be news to years. Johansson now picks in from wherever on earth he does here. We are on lap number 15. It is Dometer, Leister, Osterkamp, Patrick Kessler in 4th place, Lorenda Wright and Neil Lukins 5th and 6th. So Johansson pits in from 7th. So still a lot of racing to come along at the moment here. And well, we're all here, all waiting for this racing to be absolutely sensational, absolutely perfect. But we now look at Christoph Leister now. And well, we are coming up towards that halfway distance soon that everyone will be talking about. Leister into the toe section, he will come along. And well, everything is hunky-dory in the world of Christoph Leister. He'll be looking to try and make sure he keeps away, but look at René Osterkamp, he's actually closing that gap down. He did make a mistake which has cost him, by my calculations, about 7 seconds. About 7 seconds he's lost. So it's still all to play for. Pit window coming up. Will any of these three come into pit road this time by? That's the question. It's a long pit road here at Watkins Glen. It's a slow pit road at Watkins Glen. You've got to be careful. You've got to keep on it and you've got to keep working. And in comes Christoph Leister from P number 2 on circuit to make his mandatory pit stop right now. René Osterkamp running himself down in 2nd position right now, and he'll be trying to chase down Bruno Dometer as hard as he possibly can. He will be ruining the mistake he made earlier on. He didn't even run that far wide. He just put a tyre a little bit onto the grass and spun him wide. Well, he will be fighting, he will be pushing, he will be challenging for that position of 2nd place right now. Eyes on René Osterkamp, the German, who does have a race win to his name at the Nordschleife. Of course, we have seen 6 different winners in 8 races. We've seen 2 for Gunnar Nienhaus, 2 for Jean-Francois Godin, 2 for Phil Reed. We've seen 2 for Michael Mittner, 1 for Osterkamp, 1 for a certain Lee N. Robinson, if that's my maths. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Final race of the season. Will we see a 7th different winner possibly, or will we see someone take their 2nd or even their 3rd win of the season to sort everything out right now? Osterkamp, he will be ruining a couple of mistakes. Of course, he crashed last time out, as we look once again at something that happened on lap number 1. And well, this is what happened with Lorenda Wright. It seemed that, oh my word, car off in the wall there. That looked like Martin Arnoldus in the end of that. So that's what happened to him. And there you could see in the background earlier on in that incident what happened with Martinson. He just got a tag as well here on lap number 17. We are about to start, if I'm correct. Nobody coming into pit road at the moment. So, still everything is on the line. Everything to play for right now. So, keep your eyes peeled here for anything that's going on. Osterkamp running that line very wide again. And really looking to maximise lap time. We're going to take an onboard perspective now and just see how little input there is on that turning here of that high force racing car. See the eyes, it stares down at the cars ahead and it just scares people off into mistakes, you can sometimes argue. But look at it, just wrangling that car into the right of the inner loop, then the left again, then the other right. That's all just not a corner technically classed on the circuit, but into turn number 5 of the outer loop he'll come along. And well, he is slowly closing here on Bruno Dometer. The gap looks a little bit closer than it did. So, still a lot to play for here on lap number 17. Dometer in the lead at the moment. Osterkamp second, Kessler third. Jean-Francois Godin will be fourth on track at the moment. Imre yet to stop in fifth. Leicester in sixth. It seems that he's had an absolutely horrible pit stop. Seems that he's lost out a lot of time, if my sources are correct. Into the heel then comes Rene Osterkamp. Still perfect line there, using all of the white tarmac compared to the rubbered in grey tarmac there. There you can see again, just got to keep running those white tarmac lines. It's almost like a racing line for you that you don't often appreciate. You see you running it through turn 10, a very difficult corner because track conditions very hot and drivers have been complaining. Into the pits comes Dometer. Look how much Osterkamp has closed in on pit entry. Both the leaders come in, and well, that will help Rene Osterkamp there. Pit stops, well, they are known to deal with time right now, and Osterkamp will come into his pit box and he will sit and he will wait, and so will Dometer, and we will look as Kessler's in as well. And well, where is Jean-Francois Godin right now? That is the question on everyone's lips. And there he is, just going around turn number 1. Dometer at a pit road. Where is Osterkamp in relation? Well, just behind. So, nothing done in the pits, but the gap considerably closed. And Dometer instantly trying to break the slipstream hold. And he won't have it because Osterkamp is going to be right behind and pushing at a pit exit. It's the one side where you can gain the advantage, because look at this, goes to the outside, trying to make it sorted here as they head towards the inner loop right now. Can Dometer hold off Rene Osterkamp? No, he does not. And through goes Rene Osterkamp into second. Well, a bit of track history for you from other series. We talked about the iRacing World Championship earlier on and how many drivers have gone up to it. Whose favourite track in terms of wins is this? Well, the one, the only, the 5-time champion Gregor Hutu, of course, who just cannot lose here, it seems. But one driver will be looking to not lose here, and that is Jean-Francois Godin, who is at least 7 seconds down the road there. He just got a perfect pit stop, and Dometer wasn't even that far behind, and look how much time he's lost. So, still a lot going on right now, and heading themselves through this right-hander of the heel. They come along. Look at Christoph Leicester getting a bit twitchy, and he's off at the heel, and he can't keep it out the wall. He can't keep it out the tyres, and that's the end of Christoph Leicester's run. And he was in 4th, and it was an awful mistake. He was pushing so hard. What a shame there on lap number 18 or 19. I can't quite work out which. So, they are on to start lap 19 now. Rene Osterkamp is pulling away from Bruno Dometer right now. And more crucially than that, I think they're starting to close in a certain Mr. Jean-Francois Godin right now. I think Godin isn't as quick as he was in his opening stint now. I don't quite know why that is. But you can see just how much these drivers are pushing right now. You can see the gap visibly smaller than it was. Here, looking at Bruno Dometer. Into the inner loop, they will come along the big right-left. It's so switchy, twitchy, name it. Anything with an E at the end. So we look at Jonathan Courier-Cosi into turn number 1. Getting it a little bit wrong. Round he goes and into the barrier. Oh, dear me. And Again, an incident for Kuriakosi, and well, just not his day right now. Just needs to find that little bit of consistency factor that is not working. As we look at Lorenzo right now, heading himself through into the shoot section, he comes along, and well, trying to chase down Team Tortoise ahead of him. Not only Frederick Johansson, but Evan Imre as well. So Lorenzo Reich has his work cut out. Still trying to chase down towards the toe. He will come along. Onboard perspective here. You can see many different lines you can take through this toe corner. Not always the one that you go around with being the best in the independence driver in the 034. Well, look at Rene Osterkamp heading through the final corner right now, and he's clipped the wall! Oh my word, he's clipped the wall, and round he goes! Oh no! Rene Osterkamp, he was in second, and from something that I've heard, he was catching it over a second a lap. Oh dear me! Rene Osterkamp's dream is over. Second place in the championship has thwarted him, has eluded him. What a shame for the German driver. That is the end of the Hydroforce racing car, and he must be frustrated with himself after that. But the gap is coming down at the front. It was 7 seconds. It's down to about 5.7 last time we checked. So, looking at Lorenzo right now, there could be an issue on the team player's car of Jean-Francois Godin right now. So, everything still to play for. Here's De Rijk on the back of Imre right now, looking to chase down both Team Tortoise cars at the moment. So, still all to play for. Still everything to go back here and decide. So, De Rijk trying everything to pull himself onto Imre. As we look at Bruno Dometer now, coming through the heel section right now. Where is Jean-Francois Godin? The answer is just ahead of him, and he can see the dot in the distance, and that's the thing that he will be latching onto here, Bruno Dometer. Dometer in a career highest position at the moment of second place right now, and he'll be pushing and pushing to try and keep himself in. If he catches, this could be one of the great races here to send everyone off. You can see just how close you run into that wall, gap across the line. Well, it was 5.7, it's down to 5. So another 7/10 taken out of Jean-Francois Godin that time by. It'll be interesting to see just exactly what's going to go on here. Everything is going to be full steam ahead. There is Patrick Kessler, who was running 4th at the stage, and I think he's a lap down, which will really frustrate him. I don't know what happened. It must have happened in the pits, because we haven't seen exactly what's happened. As we look at Andy Brown now for Willows GP, chasing down Neil Lukins of AOR Red right now. This is the battle for the final podium position at the moment. Just shows how many drivers have actually made mistakes here at Watkins Glen. You can see just how defensive Neil Lukins will go. To the outside goes Andy Brown into the outer loop. Well, the inner loop first. And nope, can't get the move sorted there. Can he have a look at the outer loop? No. Just keep going round that right-hander of turn number 5. And, well, nothing doing just yet. But we will wait and see for later on in the lap, or later on in the race, to see if he can close that gap back down. So, still a lot to play for here, as Andy Brown will be pushing himself to get himself round Neil Lukins at the moment. So, still a little bit of time left. We're into the second half of the race, and drivers' mentalities now, it has to be of focus. We don't have that many laps to go, as you can see on the live ticker. It is about 10, 11 laps, 12 laps to go. So we look at Christian Takash here in the Red Devolution car, and he's going to go wide. He's going to spin it, and he's going to find himself in the wall right now. Andy Brown still looking for a go on a certain Mr. Neil Lukins right now. News at the front, the gap has halved. It's gone from 5 seconds to 2.5 in the blink of an eye. Oh my goodness me. Something has to be wrong. Surely it could be an issue like damage. It could be fuel that's the problem with Jean-Francois Godin. He could have underfueled. Look at Dometer here. and you can see just how much he's closed up there. He is closing hand over fist. No arguments about it. Dometer is closing. Godin is slow, and that's the last thing that Jean-Francois Godin would want. He wants a third win this season in the final 4 races. He has been the driver of the second half of the season. If he had a great first half, he would have been fighting for that championship up to today. And well, Dometer is closing. It was 2.3 as they crossed the line. Now the gap looks like it's going to be absolutely nothing at all as they cross the line. Everything to play for. Dometer could get a maiden win here today, and that is not out of the realms of possibility. Well, the gap to third is a quarter of a minute, so there is no chance really in the final few laps of them closing in, but it was up at 23 seconds, so Dometer into the final corner. He'll come along behind Jean-Francois Godin. He'll be in the slipstream. He'll move to the inside, will he? Well, he might have an opportunity here. He does. He goes to the inside into turn number 1. And Bruno Dometer inherits the race lead from Jean-Francois Godin from TDT Racing. Beats the team players guy. But he might have an opportunity, Godin, because if he's running behind Bruno Dometer, he's actually using less fuel by doing this. So technically, craftily, clever. He's just got to stay on the back here, and if he can, he'll have enough fuel to finish. So, everything there to play for. Everything is still up for grabs in terms of a race victory. You see Dometer taking a little bit of a wider line there through that inner loop, and he runs a very wide line through the outer loop there. And you can just see the 99 car just planting itself, and it doesn't look full throttle at all from him. You can see him just lifting off very early into the corners now, just trying to make sure that he's got this all sorted out here. Does Jean-Francois Godin into the toe. They'll come along, use the marker boards on the left-hand side, and well, just a few laps to go. We've had quite a few incidents already today, and well, still a lot can happen in the final few stages of the race. It's now a game of cat and mouse for Jean-Francois Godin. If he can stay on to the back of Dometer, he still has a chance, you know. He might just have saved enough by doing that. He has hemorrhaged 7 seconds through fueling issues. Well, that is a lot, and if Osterkamp was still racing, he'd have been by about a second and a half, you could argue. So, Godin under pressure to stay on the back of Bruno Dometer, who is already pulling out a little bit of a gap, and that will be the last thing that Jean-Francois Godin would possibly want in this battle for the final ever win in an AOR Pro Mazda series in a Starr Mazda car. We are moving to the Formula Renault for next season, which will be in 2 weeks' time. Looking at Loren de Rijk right now, heading himself through towards turn number 1, chasing down the Team Tortoise car ahead of him. So lap 24 we are on right now of 32 at the moment. So Loren de Rijk in 7th, chasing down Evan Imre once again, or has he managed to get past? That's the question. I think he's managed to get past, and he's chasing down Fredrik Johansson. Yes, he is chasing down Fredrik Johansson. So we are on lap 25 here, out of a certain number of 32. Just a handful of laps to go around the esteemed circuit of Watkins Glen. Of course, the death place of Francois Sever, a very esteemed F1 track back in the day, now runs NASCAR, now runs IndyCar. Very nice track to race at, but it's really a Marmite track. You either love Watkins Glen or you hate Watkins Glen. As we said, Greg Ahutu, who is a 5-time iRacing World Grand Prix Series champion, he loves it here. He absolutely does. And you talk about a driver, say, like Ty MacLeod, who's specifically said, I don't like racing here. And well, his engine went off there. There's the Johansson ahead in the AAA. The 034, Loren de Rijk, heading himself through the heel right now, trying to chase down Fredrik Johansson. So if you're asking, where is the AOR blue cars? Well, they're out. Both of them, both Phil Reed and Knut Martinsson involved in lap 1 incidents. Ronnie Osterkamp is still circulating, but basically many laps down. Kuriakosi out, Kagera out, Leister out. MacLeod out and whoa! Car around there. I'm not quite sure who that is. That's one of the Kart Squad cars. I think that's Kuriokosi again. As we look back with Loren de right now. And there is Jean-Francois Godin. And the back markers actually caught them. They're not going that quickly. So, Patrick Kessler might be a factor. He has the right to unlap himself if he so chose. But I think he might just stay out of this battle here for the race win. And Domitor's not pulling away by any stretch of the imagination compared to Jean-Francois Godin right now. And that's going to be problematic because now it's a game of cat and mouse. Now it's the game of when do I go? When do I press and push past in order to cement a race victory? You can still argue that Jean-Francois Godin doesn't have anything structurally wrong with his car. Just looking at him now, riding along, and no, doesn't seem that he's got anything wrong with his car, so he must have underfueled himself. And that now poses another factor. Will Jean-Francois Godin make the end of the race? We talked about it at Suzuka with Gunnar Nienhaus, who managed to gain 5 seconds on the guys around him. You can just see how wide Jean-Francois Godin took that corner using all of the road. And well, just a handful of laps to go as we start lap 26 of 32 right now. 6 laps left. And well, Jean-Francois Godin is still looking, still trying to probe this battle for the race lead here at Watkins Glen in upstate New York. This is going to be a fantastic finale, no matter what the result will happen. Remember, if these guys take each other out, it could be Neil Lukins or Andy Brown who pick up their first win. So, Godin, really the only driver who knows how to be in this situation. He knows how to win races. He's won 2, he's won 1 from behind to front before. He might just have to do it again. And there's the battle for third, because Andy Brown is still looking on Neil Lukins. Can't get the moves sorted at the moment. Of course, talks that there will be shuffling at AOR Red. What will happen to Knut Martinsen? Will he drop back down to the AOR Red team? Will the likes of Neil Lukins lead the team? Will Leanne Robinson lead the team? Well, it's all very debatable at the moment. So, Andy Brown in the 43 for Willows Grand Prix Racing will be looking to push himself right now in the 43 machine. Trying to get himself past Neil Lukins here around the toe. He comes along. And looking up through the hill, he doesn't have long, but he has some time, not a lot. But into the hill, he'll come along now. You can see him just running that line there of tarmac, just where it's been replaced and used. And well, there's another one here into turn number 9 that you will try and run there. You can hit that, and there's Rene Osterkamp way down the order. You can see him crabbing along the straights there with the damage that he's got. And whoa dear! Engine number 3, the second Hydroforce engine of the lot. That's your lot. End of Rene Osterkamp's day, and he will be fuming. And, well, for Hydroforce Racing and the management there, they will not be too happy with the result today. They had a really great opportunity to get a double podium, you could argue, and, well, it's not materialised. But I'll tell you who it is materialising for. Neil Lukins, and behind him Andy Brown, who is not quite close enough this time by to have a go at Neil Lukins. Might be just waiting for the mistake to come from the AR Red driver from Bristol, England right now. So everything still to play for right now in this battle for the final place on the podium, mind you. So keep on at it, boys. You don't have long to go. It's a test of endurance. The great names, the legendary names, Martinsen, Reed, Osterkamp, they've all gone. And, well, these guys are still fighting out for a win. Well, not a win, but a third place. You can see just how much they're pushing, how much they're trying right now to keep themselves in contention here. Andy Brown's lost a little bit of time over that lap, and he'll be looking to try and close it down in this section here. Into the heel, he will come along. Of course, this is classic boot layout. So, left-hander now of turn number 9 on the circuit here. Just 2 more corners to go before they start yet another lap of racing. So, still a lot to play for here for Willows GP. Haven't had a podium in a very long time, the team. Of course, I think last time they got a podium was when Leanne Robinson was part of the team. Or maybe they haven't even had a podium, I don't quite know myself. So, can Andy Brown close up on Neil Lukins into turn number 1? They will come along. You can extend as much as you like here at this corner. Just be careful when you're getting back on. And well, everything's still going on around the field. Everything to play for. Just a handful of laps left. So we look at Kuriokoshi, lose it yet again. And round he goes into the wall. And well, that could be that one. What a shame for him. And look at this, Andy Brown, they're going to come back on together. Oh, Kuriokoshi there. Having to get a little bit careful, and that's allowed the gap to close up here. Andy Brown might have a look into the chute. No, not yet, but still looking, searching for that way past to get onto the final step of this podium. And look at Jean-Francois Godin now. He is still tucked behind Bruno Dometer right now, and they are lapping fast. They really are lapping fast in the 145s now. And if they're lapping at that sort of speed, then you have to say they are going to be real contenders here. Well, Jean-Francois Godin certainly, if he's running at this sort of speed here. Not long to go in this race at the moment. So, about to start lap 29 of 32. There will be 4 laps left, 29, 30, 31 and 32. Well, the ticker might work, as in these are how they finish after this lap. So, interesting to see where we are in terms of laps, but we do not have many to go. Here is Jean-Francois Godin, who is filing himself now. He's looking for the move. He will try and go surely to the inside here with 3 laps to go, which is correct because Dometer on the outside. And now it's Jean-Francois Godin who takes the race lead again. And now the questions tell. Can he break? Can he break Bruno Dometer in 3 laps? Dometer thought he had it when he was closing. Hand over fist. Gap over gap over gap. He closed 2.5 seconds a lap at some stages. But now, Dometer has his heart just sunk. I think that is check and possibly mate from Jean-Francois Godin. He is showing why he is world class. He is showing why he is a name. He hadn't had a single win in the series, and he'd come close before season 5, and now he's looking for his 3rd win in 4. And now that's just how his second half of the season's gone. He was 3/10 faster than anybody else in practice. It is René Osterkamp who has the fastest lap. Of course, Godin fastest in qualifying. I did not mean to say practice, but it will be 2 laps to go as they cross the line. And well, has Dometer been broken? He will have to push hard if he wants to stay. Look at the gap already. I think there's enough to the end of the race here for Jean-Francois Godin. Not too sure, but we are there. Lap 31 of 32 you can see in the corner. We are 2 laps away from the end of this race. And well, all to play for here. Godin is away, and I don't think Dometer can close. And well, Dometer will give it his all. He is one of the understated drivers, normally a mid-pack driver. His best finish up to this date is a 4th at Road Atlanta, the famous Road Atlanta race, season 4 even, race 1, where Justin Brunner found the wall early on in the race. But look at it, there's the battle for 3rd. It's still hotting up, and through goes Andy Brown. And now it's Neil Lukins' turn to play catch-up, because Andy Brown's Willows GP car is out and away, and he'll be looking to try and extend it. He's only got a few more corners before the final lap. You can see how hard Neil Lukins is pushing there. He was all over that outside curb, and he's running wide to miss the apex. He's pushing too hard. Neil Lukins is pushing too hard right now, and well, with just 2 laps to go, who could blame him? It is all to play for here in the battle for all steps of the podium. And well, if Neil Lukins can pull that gap back down the front straight away, I think he won't have too many problems. We haven't really seen any overtakes anywhere else but into that inner loop. It's kind of like that one pass fits all sort of mentality. You don't get enough speed across to actually make that move. So, well, final lap has started. And Jean-Francois Godin will be praying that his fuel tank holds out. He might be running on fumes. Soon he might be running on air, because he is trying to hold out from Bruno Dometer right now. And if that engine runs out of fuel, well, you're going to have to feel for him. He underfueled at his stop. He lost 7 seconds, but now he's trying to win it. And look how much Dometer is trying to close in behind him. This is not over by any stretch of your imagination. But you can see the gap now. It's manageable from here, unless he makes a mistake through the outer loop. He comes along now. The chute next. He's just got 5 more corners. And his, well, 6 more corners now. Into the chute here. Turn number 6. And now we'll head to 7. And that's the toe down the hill. Watch out for your engine. Does he have any problems into the toe? Answer, no. He is alright through the toe. So, now up the hill, just 4 more corners, Jean, and you will become a 3-time winner here in this series. The only 3-time winner this season. And into the right-hander, he will come along off the hill. 3 corners to go. Will his engine hold out? Will his fuel hold out? Will Dometer close up? No. It's all down on Jean-Francois Godin. He's got 2 corners left. The difficult turn 10, which has been so difficult in this hot weather, on this, the final lap of the race. 1 corner to go for Jean-Francois Godin, and Team Players Racing. The 99 secures 2nd in the championship. He secures a 3rd win in this series, and more importantly than that, he becomes one of the greats. There is Patrick Kessler, a lap down. What a shame for him. He will finish out in 10th position, but the battle for 3rd, well, Andy Brown wins out on that one ahead of Neil Lukins. So, when all is said and done, it is Jean-Francois Godin who wins, and still battling going on. Lorenda Reich will hold out on Frederick Johansson F6. There's your confirmation results. Jean-Francois Godin is your winner today. Evan Imre there in 7th, Santana Mackie 8th, Alberto 9th. Patrick Kessler, lap down, rounds out the top 10 today. And well, for the final time here, this is your race results. And well, it's been a pleasure commentating on the Starr Mazdas. Of course, AOR, my first ever commentary job before moving over to other companies. But Fury is your Drivers' Champion, Godin 2nd, Mittner 3rd, Osterkamp 4th, Martinson, Takash 6th, Nienhaus 7th, Cowie 8th, Liam Robinson 9th. And the points are a little bit wrong there for Christoph Leister in 10th. But we can overlook that for a little bit. So, all said and done, that will be that for this series. So, we're moving over to the Formula Renault 2.0. There's the constructors. AOR Blue are your champions here today. LM Rennsport 2nd. Team Players move up ahead of Hydroforce Racing here 3rd. AOR Red 4th. Team Tools 5th. Red Devolution in 7th. LM Racing 8th. Menard 9th. Vortex Sim Racing there in 10th. But do not fear. The Formula Renault 2.0 will be here. And there are 2 places where it could potentially be shown. Either check out here, LM Rennsport, or check out FizzyFan91's channel. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time.